Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
My name is Ajay. I am the producer of 1 in 300 Million, and I collaborate with my director, Won-Sik Choi. And we kind of ultimately wanted to tell a story about our experience, maybe mostly from his perspective of working in a more corporate lifestyle, and then kind of wanted to branch out and doing something more creative. And this was kind of a story for all those people, and that's kind of where the initial inspiration kind of sparked for us.
Very cool. A lot of our team hard related to it because they are in similar position. Half of them are in similar positions where they're kind of doing career transitions, if you will, you know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people struggle with balancing that creative side of their life and also, being able to for their other career aspects as well. So it was I thought we could really talk to everybody, specifically in New York City.
Yeah,
So that was something that was really important to us. Yeah.
absolutely. Alice, I see you next in my lineup. So.
Hi everyone, my name is Alice Shin. By the way, I'm in South Korea right now, so it's 9 a.m.
Good
And
morning.
I can see my good morning. I can see my producer Eiko over there, and although her background looks like evening, she's also in the morning because she's in Japan. So thank you for us to attend this Zoom meeting because we are like
Oh, happy to have you. I know
everywhere.
you're all over the place.
We've made a Nikkei Canadian story, a story of the doctor who was born and raised in Vancouver and then sent to the Japanese Canadian internment camp as a second generation of Japanese immigrant, and then went to the Hiroshima after the bomb. So we've chased that amazing doctor story, and Yuna Chung of Samantha introduced us about this amazing film festival.
Oh,
So
that's
we've got her
great. I would say
here.
one of my good friends actually is Korean American but living in Tokyo, but that's, you know.
Yes, that's Yuna. That's right. So yeah, thank you for having us.
Pleasure, our pleasure. You guys won Best Documentary, by the way. I don't know if you realized.
Thank you.
And the person who reviewed it is so I have a good friend who worked at PBS for many years when I was there. Well, actually, she worked at MTV. Then she went to PBS. She brought me with her to PBS, and then she went to Netflix. Unfortunately, didn't bring me with her there. But at PBS, she'd worked with the head of a it's a documentary program that's very well known in the States called American Masters, and the head of that is Stephen Talbot, and he was our judge for documentaries. So I have to send you the write up
Wow.
he made about your film so that you could see what he said. So,
Oh, thank you so much.
of course, of course. Nikki, you're next in my list.
All right. So, hi everyone. My name is Nikki Behjat. I'm currently based in Las Vegas, Nevada, and my story, my film is Zarina. So, Zarina is the story of a journalism student in Iran named Zarina. She goes to meet with her boyfriend Kamran, but things take a really drastic, terrible turn when she's confronted with the morality police for not wearing her head covering appropriately, and she's ultimately arrested. And then it's up to Kamran to kind of find the missing Zarina, but he ends up in troubles of his own. And it was a film that I was really passionate about making. My parents are immigrants from Iran, and they were the ones that actually inspired me and pushed me to tell the story. And it was a long process, and I'm really, really happy with how it turned out.
That's so great. Yeah, I mean, I also felt like it was kind of very relevant to what's happening in the States today, in a very terrifying way. But yeah, the it was beautifully done, and it's so brave to tell a story that your parents want you to tell, because like you're afraid to like not do them justice would be. But I'm glad it came out wonderfully, so I'm glad you did it.
Thank you so much.
Morgan?
Hi, my name's Morgan Young, and I was the writer, director, and producer of an animated short called Stoned for Christmas. It's a little story about a cannabis courier at Christmas time, and every delivery that they make is told in a different animation style. So we have stop motion, we've got like a rubber hose style, we've got the whole nine yards. Um, I really wanted to make something that was mixed media, and also I have a background in children's television, so to me, even though it's about weed, it feels like a culmination of my work in kids animation because it's musical, it's 10 minutes long, it's got a nice little wrap-up bow at the end. So to me, I'm like, it's a family film about weed. Um, but it was awesome to make. We worked with animators all over the world. Um, Everybody worked on their own sections, and it all came together really nicely, um, which I'm very grateful for.
As are we. It won Best Animated Short.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And actually, I used to work in children's television as well, and so a lot of my contacts for animation are in children's television. So all of the judges were more or less children's TV people. So,
Oh, that's
and they
awesome.
still loved Stone for Christmas. So,
Oh yeah.
um, let's see who's on the Hallie. Oh no, wait, Tom. I'm sorry. The next person's Tom.
Hi, I'm Tom Bassois, and I made You Can't Find Love, which is a short experimental film. And happy to again be showing at Astoria Film Festival. I've been showing many years. And
Tom
I
was
was,
one of. I think you were in the first festival, right?
yeah, yeah,
And ever since,
yep.
it's awesome.
So I was inspired to make a poetry film. So I went back to an old poem I had written in the 70s. That was a permutation poem, which is mathematical because I'm a real geek. So that even infiltrated into poetry and writing. And I explored selective attention, which is your brain can only focus on a certain number of things at a time. And so by having the poem typed out and read and having the words flash, turns out you can't really follow the typing and the words. Your brain will just bounce back and forth. And I kind of explored this selective attention in a different way in a film I made way back in 1980, where I had two different people reading text and I cut back and forth between them every half second. And you could perfectly follow one guy with half second interruptions or the other guy, but your brain just picked who you were going to pay attention to, sort of beyond your control. So I like exploring perception and manipulating perception.
Well, it was lovely, and it was. I mean, it was meaningful, and it was also very interesting to watch. So,
Thank you.
as most of your films are, if I do say so. Aiko?
Good morning, everyone. Well, I guess it's good morning for me, but the
Good
different
morning.
time zone everybody else.
It's a good morning somewhere, so we'll take it.
Yeah, it is an honor to be here, and thank you very much for having us. And I just wanted to congratulate everybody to be a part of festival, and really lovely to meet you all. And Alice has already introduced the film, so I'm not gonna do it. But this story is very close to our personal connection, and we both Asians living in Canada. We feel it is very important for us to have this Japanese Canadian history and then their stories to pass along to the next generation. And I think they are the main character and the main purpose for us to do this film. And I'm just really honored to do that, to be able to do that, and then to be here with you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we're honored that you sent your film in and joined us. Yeah, I mean, I think I lived in Canada for 3 years when my husband was working in Montreal, and what I realized, we went there very starry-eyed, thinking it was the utopia it like sells itself to be, and I think that's only because relative to the U.S. it seems that way. But then once we were there, we were like, oh, they have a lot of the same problems. They just don't get worldwide attention for it, right? So I think it's very important to show. But the most like I don't the whole thing made me cry, but basic in a good way. Like, but no, not but it was very emotional to watch. And but White Canada Forever, that song was like the pinnacle. I was like, oh, jeez, like no, like but it's just stuff that needs to be seen by everybody, right, to understand what's happening now, really. So thank you,
Thank you.
Lucia. Is it Lucia or Lucia?
It's Lucia.
Sorry, honey, Lucia.
Okay.
My mom was
Um,
Lucia, so whenever I see it, I just automatically go to Ch, but apologies.
Hi everyone. My name is Lucia Peñaflor, and I am the director and choreographer of the dance film A Quien Ves en el Espejo. The title translates to Who Do You See in the Mirror? My film is about identity trauma, which is a state of questioning your validity and sense of self due to past prejudicial experiences. My film is about telling a story of navigating this lost sense of self, healing as both an individual and communal experience, and self-reclamation.
And you won Best Dance Short, Best Youth Dance Short, so
Yes,
as well.
thank you.
A beautiful film. And you're a senior at Hunter, or did you just graduate?
No, I just finished my sophomore year.
Oh gosh, all right. You're a baby. You're a baby. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Timothy?
Hey everyone, I'm Timothy Cooper, and I also entered because I'm friends with Yuna, and
Oh, really?
and
Oh, that's
we
awesome.
was able to hang out with her actually most recently at the after the Sapporo International Short Film Festival in when we hung out with her in Tokyo. So
Oh, wonderful.
thanks to Yuna for uniting us.
Yes.
And I'm the writer director of Need, and it's a comedy sci-fi about a housewife in the 60s who hopes to be saved from her unhappy marriage when aliens crash land nearby. And yeah, it was a pleasure playing that was last night at the festival, and I loved hearing the audience laughter, and it's always fascinating because people laughed at even different places, and I've seen it in a lot of different theaters, and they even laughed at different places here, so it's always like a growth experience, but as long as they're laughing. So I was very happy with it, and thank you for having us.
Our pleasure. And you won Best Comedy Short, as well as a Best Performance and Best Set Design, right?
Thank you. We're super honored, and the lead actress was thrilled to find that out, and as was our set designer. So thank you so much.
So it's great because the main character, as Timothy says, in an unhappy marriage, and the alien possession basically possesses humans to go out and do what they want to do, like do what they love the most. So all these people around her are like their life-changing experiences through their possessions, but she hasn't had it yet. And the radio announces, oh, the aliens are about to leave, and so she basically fakes a possession, and then comes back and is like, I'm going to do the things I love. Like, so it was great on many levels.
Thank you so much. We were honored to be there. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great to meet you all.
Hallie?
Hi, my name is Hallie Eliza Friedman. I was the writer, actor, director, editor of Mia Just Eat the Fry. And yeah, I'm super thrilled to be here. It was such an honor to get into Astoria Film Festival, and I'm super happy to meet you all.
Lovely. Do you want to tell a little about the film?
Yes. So it is a third date gone wrong because of a girl's OCD. As someone that has OCD, I kind of wanted to make fun at it and kind of poke it, but also still highlight how certain things for people with OCD feel so real and so intense, and how that can be funny, but yet feels very real and very high stakes for people with OCD.
Absolutely. No, I love that. As a neurodivergent person myself, I appreciated your perspective. I appreciate perspectives of people with the actual neurodivergence versus, just making fun of it or using it as a generalized term, which is too often done in media, right?
Thank you.
Um, Ziv, how are you?
Hi, everybody. It's Barak, first name.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, all good. I'm an animator and designer and stand-up comedian. I love creative different things, and I made the film, wrote, directed, acted in the film Going to Queens. It showed yesterday in the afternoon, and was awesome to be in the festival. Thank you so much for having me. Lots of good films and cool people. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you want to tell them a little about your film?
Sure. So I lived in Queens most of my adult life, and I was trying to, even before I started doing comedy, I always wanted to poke fun at this something particular to the streets of Queens. All New York natives, you probably know that. There's not just streets and avenues, there's road, lanes, drives, and I wanted to poke fun at it for a long time. And just being to able to finally accomplish something, even if it's a short film, that you had in your back of your brain for 15 years feels amazing. So made it, partnered with a comedy friend of mine. We do stand-up comedy and all kinds of sketches together, and we made it. And yeah, happy we get it done and happy we get it to screen. Thanks everybody who watched.
Awesome. No, it was hysterical because if you don't know, Queens tends to have like, if in most of New York, the streets, well, in a lot of New York, the streets will go, 21, 22, 23. In New York, it goes 20, in Queens, it goes 21st Street, 21st Road, 21st Avenue, 21st Lane, and you just keep like, and so like you're trying to get to 22, you're like, is 22 ever going to show up?
That's
So,
exactly what the movie is about. And I remember I would go leave the subway at 1 o'clock at night, tired, trying to go home, and I realized, oh, I got so two more streets. I got five more streets to go just because of that. So yeah.
well, having grown up here, like when I was first learning to drive, a teenager, you want to drive everywhere, and I just got lost constantly. So I was constantly lost in Queens
And then a bunch of streets just don't exist. So they just skip
yeah, they
streets.
just
But
skip
between
all.
avenues, you'll have three more blocks with roads and drives and lanes.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden it's like, oh, 31st Street. Next one's 29th Street. What happened to 30th Street?
That's a good idea for the next film. They're trying to find a street that doesn't even exist because it's
Yes.
21st and 11th. There's nothing between them. So
So yes, it was very relatable for those of us here.
thank you.
So what advice, starting with you, Barak, and going back, would you give to future filmmakers based on, or I guess actually Eunice asked a good question yesterday, which was, what do you wish you had known before you started this film that you would have told yourself? If you could go back in time and say, like from now to when before you started making this film, what advice would you give yourself?
Trying to think. I mean, a lot of filmmakers come with the same idea, which is same concept, which is don't wait, just do it. It's never going to be perfect. It's okay if it's not. And that was in my case. It was very guerrilla, just one film, one cinematographer with a camera, no boom guy, not a lot of people on crew. And it was actually a last minute thing, asking my friend to participate after the actual cinematographer, original one, bailed out. So have really good friends who want to join you in your silliness. Yeah. So my friend that did this film with me and the friend that helped me produce, have good friends basically that will help you do those things.
Good advice. Alice?
Yeah, I never expected this film takes like 4 years because after we started this film, 3 months later, COVID hits, and our subject is 94 years old. So we were scared, and we've delayed 2 or 3 times of interview schedule. And of course, his family were so much concerned. But Dr. Henry has passionate to pass this story. So, but then I had my baby at a birth. So my editing time is always happened after my baby sleeping. So it was quite a lot of efforts and tears. Like baby's crying and I'm crying. Like I have to do this. But after finishing all of this, we are so great to finish this film while my subject is still alive. And he was very happy to see this film together with 200 audience last year. So we are really, really glad. But when I think about the old days when I was crying, well, I could say like, "Hey, lady, you can make smile after 4 years later." So
So you would say it'll only be 4 years. Don't worry about it. And watch out for
Exactly.
COVID. Maybe wear a
Yes.
mask would have been your advice.
Bye.
Oh goodness. Yeah, I wasn't editing a film and I was still crying when my baby cried. So I fully I can't imagine. Um, Nikki?
I would say don't be afraid to ask for help. I had to do a lot of research for my film because while I am the daughter of Iranian immigrants, I actually never been to Iran. So I had to do a lot of fact checking. I had to like consult a lot of filmmakers. I had to consult a lot of Iranian artists. I did some research myself as well, but I also consulted family, friends, and just a bunch of different people to make sure the story was accurate because even though it is a fictional story, real people are experiencing it. So I had to do my best to make sure it was accurate and that people could kind of learn from it.
Absolutely. Lucia?
Um, I would definitely tell myself that it's okay if things don't go according to plan. This film was part of a choreographic cycle of classes I had to go to. This is like the last one, a culmination of everything that I've learned. I'm a double major in media studies and dance at Hunter College. So this obviously was gonna get graded. So I'm like, I need to have everything planned. I only have like a month to do rehearsals and then film, and then I got to edit it, and then I got to present it in the beginning of May. So I had everything planned out, and obviously things aren't going to work out and everything's not going to be perfect. And there were times I was just like really anxious and things were just not going the way I planned. But when I was in post production and I was looking at some scenes that didn't like turn out the way I wanted to, I was like, I'm going to take a breath. It's going to be okay. And I think that with all these things that didn't work out the way I wanted to, I was actually able to create my work better, was more creative. I think I was able to find different ways to enhance my work and not just be like just a sequence of choreography. I think I was able to play around a lot more. So I think going with the flow and like just letting things happen is definitely a big part of the process. So I definitely tell myself if I could, it's going to be okay, go with the flow, enjoy the process, and that mistakes actually make better work.
I love that. Hello, River. Welcome. Glad to have you with us. Do you want to? Oh, so right now people have already told us their name, the film, a little bit about the film, and now we're talking about what would you have done? What would you have told yourself if you traveled back to the time right before you made the film? What advice would you give yourself? So,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me and notice that I came late. Yeah,
okay, no
because
problem.
I didn't know that I the time is like my time is like in Calgary right now and the time travel is like and I'm originally in Vancouver. I'm in travel right now, so I'm really apologize for that
No,
first of
no
all.
worries.
Yeah. Yeah, hello. My name is River Kim, and I'm the director of the New Year Days, not the New Year's, and the story is animated short film about separated family who left their child in North Korea. Yeah, so I made this film very long time ago, and I finally finished it last year. So I'm really glad I could be able to show this film to everyone. And yeah, so going back to the question. If I could tell something to myself a long time ago, I would say it's a long story short. So this film actually is finished like 2015 and
Oh, wow.
95% was finished at the moment, but like after a year I came to Canada and I was pretty busy and I thought I wanted to make finish the rest of the 5% part and with plus revision part more like with a little bit like dedication and more make it perfectly. So like the perfectionism just grabbed me a lot behind, and then like settling down in a new place and getting used to everything is kind of like really challenging things, and I didn't prepare so for a long time for finishing it, and I felt like I couldn't, I probably can't show this film forever, because usually 2 years after the publishing is gonna be like expire, kind of a limitation to show the film after finishing it. So I thought it's going to be impossible, but my friend said, "Oh, if you didn't show the film to other people publicly yet, and if you didn't finish it yet, you just finished the 5% and
Right.
release it with, and your stories um is worth it to share to everyone who doesn't know about who doesn't know about like the history of Korea." So I just have some courage to do it, and I'm really happy to do it. So going back to the question, in a nutshell,
Okay.
I
Okay.
just perfectionism doesn't work. And yeah, it's okay to be it's not perfect. I just am glad that like I learned that lesson for a long time. And then um like one of the most important parts is creating is knowing when to stop, and accepting your limits allows you to grow for the next project. So second, and I know my work isn't perfect, as I hoped, and show it anyways, and then be brave enough to let others to see it, and embracing any feedback humbly, and then that just boosts your next project better. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that it's definitely been a theme that kind of like try to relax a little as you produce your work so that you create better work actually. Um, Timothy, I don't think you answered the second question. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with what a lot of people said, including especially like Lucia and River, that, you can't worry. I mean, I had many sleepless nights, like I didn't get certain shots, like we only shot for 2 days. So I was definitely, you
Really? You
know,
only shot for 2 days?
yes,
Oh my God.
but um I had a great crew, and also my cinematographer, my first AD, my team we'd really planned out every shot in detail, in priority order, in storyboarded. So the details actually do count. Like people
Yes.
will notice the details, whether it's props, costume, coloring,
I mean, the set design award people were like, the attention to detail, and especially doing a period piece, is so difficult, and it was so perfect. But if they knew it was 2 days, I think they would have been even more impressed.
Thank you. I mean, I was very, very lucky that living in New York, over time and shooting things over time, I have gathered an amazing crew of people who are willing to trust me. So I feel very honored for that. And it turned out, a lot of the things I was panicked over, losing sleep over, or the shots I wasn't able to get, thankfully, because of the planning, I think what really mattered is we were able to get the shots, the scenes that were the emotional core of the movie. And that's what ultimately people will respond to. So the fact that we had those made all the difference. So it doesn't matter if you have a perfect take or 12 takes of everything. It's like, do you have the emotional heart of your story? That's what
Yes,
matters.
absolutely. And you did.
Thanks. Thank you so much.
Hallie, I don't believe you answered the second question. Sorry, I've lost track of the order.
No, you're so good. There's so many of us. Yeah, so kind of what River said. I mean, this was my first ever short film. And having my background in acting, I went to a BFA acting program, and for much of my life, it's always been I'm an actor and that's what I do. So never in a million years would
Mm.
I had I ever thought that I would actually write a short film, let alone actually create one. I used to make movies when I was like in middle school, and I had like a green screen and I would edit them on iMovie. So
Oh, I
it
love
feels
that.
really, yeah. So it feels kind of like fun full circle. But yeah,
We
I mean,
actually work with a lot of middle schools. So
yeah, which I love. I was talking to some of the people yesterday at the festival and asking them like what they do, and they were mentioning that, and that's really cool. I love that. I wish I had had that honestly when I was their age. Like that's so
same,
cool.
same.
Yeah, right? Um, but yeah, I mean, something that I wish I guess I could tell my younger self is to not limit yourself, to say yes and just to try new things, because I learned so much about myself working on my short film and have kind of pivoted what I want to do with my career because of this, because of new interests that I found, and that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't stepped outside of my comfort zone. But I also, going back to what River says, I like did every role in this because I was like, I want to like learn all of the things. And so I don't know if I'd necessarily do that again, but it was a fun experience to do that.
Yeah, you're like, I may not do that again, but glad I did. Aiko?
Um, I do agree a lot of things within what you said, but especially what Nikki said is not to be afraid to ask others for things that you don't know. I got into this filmmaking by very surprising accident. So everything I have done in last 80 years is like new. Every time I face something, it's new.
What were you prior?
Uh,
What were you doing before
Um,
this?
I was just a film festival goer, and then I sat next to Alice. Yeah, and so I learned a lot. I learned a lot, and I am always very grateful to have a great team. Well, of course, Alice as well. And I think filmmaking is really a team effort, I believe. And I think if you have a good accomplice with you, and always you can create amazing art. And I'm just really grateful to have all our staff, like all the members, production members, to actually teach me everything that we do. And yeah, just to ask when you don't know things. And I think that's very important, and not to be afraid of it.
I love that. I think Tom hasn't gone, and has anybody else not gone? Oh, sorry, Morgan, Tom. Okay, let's Tom, then Morgan, and
Yeah.
we'll have. I don't want Natasha. Are you? I don't want to like make you crash, but you're welcome to introduce yourself if you would like to.
I just parked. Thank you so much.
Okay, cool. Tom, do you want to answer that second?
Yeah. Yeah. So things take longer and you need to stay flexible because the original actress I wanted to use was a member of SAG-AFTRA. And I thought, okay, I'll just pay you whatever day rate is and put SAG-AFTRA logo. No. Dealing with SAG-AFTRA was a nightmare for me. They could not understand what an experimental art film was. I had to fill out all this paperwork. I was on so many conversations. They'd come back with things like, your script is not in the proper format. I'm like, the script is woman reads a poem. That's the poem, you know, stuff.
Right.
So after going round and round, and they're like, well, is this a cartoon? And I'm like, no, it's not a cartoon, but there was no camera involved in making the film. They just could not wrap their head around it. So after like 6 phone calls and a couple of months, I just gave up and had to choose somebody else.
You should have just said it was a cartoon. What would they would have
Yeah, they had
known?
all these restrictions for their different things, like whether it could only show in festivals and I couldn't put it on my website. And it was just, it was a nightmare. And they just didn't understand what it was all about. So I just said, okay.
For those not in the United States, do you want to explain what SAG-AFTRA is really quickly?
Yeah, it's the actors union. And so they have a bunch of rules, but for me, I was having somebody read a poem into their cell phone and send me the file. And they were telling me I needed to provide craft services and location insurance. I'm like, the person is not leaving their house. It's going to take
You
them
could have
two
sent them a
minutes.
pizza.
Yeah. And it was like, no, they had to they wanted forms of who was providing craft services and
Oh,
who was
wow.
the location insurance and stuff. And it was like, okay, this isn't working.
Understood. Um, Morgan?
I think the biggest piece of advice that I would give myself at the start of this, like 3 years ago, would be that it's a marathon, not a sprint. Especially with regards to festivals. Like I feel like I like finished the film and I was like, yay, I did it. And then I didn't realize that like the festival circuit is its own freaking movie with regards to how much work it is. So pace yourself and save energy. And yeah, that was my big takeaway because it continues to be just such a whirlwind. And yeah, there's so much strategy to it that you don't realize. Like you just need a lot of
Yes.
attention to that back half of the process that I didn't realize.
Absolutely. I mean, even as a festival founder, and I founded the festival because I was already teaching filmmaking workshops to local kids. And I was like, all right, I was a producer. I don't know cinematography. My lighting skills are iffy. So like, let me find the locals who know how to do that and try to get them to help me teach kids. And so that was my goal, was like, if you build it, they will come. And then, once I got thrown into the world of fest, it was like, you just learn all about the festival strategy and the festival hierarchy. And it's like, oh my gosh, like this is a whole beast unto itself, if you will. So yes, I agree. Oh, I'm sorry. Please go ahead, Ajay.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, absolutely no worries. Thank you. Yeah. I just wanted to also say for me, this was my first. I'm not in the filmmaking world. This is my first time kind of making a film and being part of a crew. So kind of like similar to Timothy, we also shot this in 2 days, and so we had a lot of stuff going on. And but I think one thing I really came to learn is that part of the filmmaking process and the love of it is reveling in the uncertainty of what's going to happen because anything can happen and being able to fix that is part of like the um, problem solving like solution and the game, if even if you will. And so that ended up leading to a lot of better ideas and thoughts that kind of just spurring up in the moment. And I think it's very much echoing very a lot what a lot of people others said. It's like it ends up creating something more ingenious because of all those restrictions. So I think that was like revel in things going wrong, even if it means that like it's not exactly what you think you want, it'll end up being something different and sometimes even better.
Oh, I love that. I think, yeah, absolutely. That sense, like it's with managing a festival, with like I've produced television shows, produced projects, digital projects, and it's all the same. It's all like you prepare as much as you can, but everything's going to go wrong, and then you have to figure out how to fix it. And so just you're in that space when you start to like when it starts and you're like, because you're gonna have like a ton of things to manage, but it's very exciting as well. So Natasha and then Sean, welcome, welcome. Natasha, do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us about the name of your film and what it's about. And then the question we've been answering is, if you could go back to the day before you started working on your film, what advice would you give yourself?
Oh, that's a great question. My name's Natasha Rivera. I am a filmmaker based in the Bronx. My film is Sweet Boys. It's a visual narrative poem. It was about 14 minutes, and we shot it over 4 days in like the Inwood, Riverdale, Bronx neighborhood with all brand new actors, have never acted for film before, and under the age of 18. So in hindsight, I was like, telling myself maybe write something a little easier. uh, I don't seem to write too many easy projects, two actors in a room. So maybe that's what I would have told myself. But um, it's a story about two friends who start off in pretty much the same circumstance and neighborhood. And then we just watch how their lives take very different trajectories. And it's a social commentary on, I don't know, I guess you could say predeterminism and like just how society has a hand in shaping people's future. Yeah, it speaks to racism and generational trauma. It's not the lightest of stories, but we had a great time making it and a great score. Yeah, I hope that answered the question. I think I answered
Yeah, yeah,
it.
absolutely. And just FYI, Natasha's film won Best Drama Short,
Thank you.
And the judges loved it.
Oh, thank you so much. I
very
really
wonderful.
appreciate it.
So I'm sure it wasn't easy to make, but you did a great job. So
Thank you very much. That means a lot. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sean,
Yes, so sorry, I'm in a car. But yes, thank you guys so much.
are you driving at a what? Eddie?
No, my good friend is driving.
Okay, good.
But thank you for the award for Best Experimental Film. Nice to meet all of you as well. My film was titled Green Bay, and it's an experimental dance sci-fi film. It blends a lot, but essentially it's about this group of women calling on what could be assumed to be an ancestor or an ancestral being from outer space to try to save their planet. And yeah, I shot it while in school here at Northwestern. In Chicago, we shot right on the water of Lake Michigan. And
wow.
yeah, I did it in collaboration with the dance PhD majors here at my university. I would say if I could do something differently, I wish we would have had more time, but honestly, I think that really allowed us to lean more into our creativity and trying to make the story. I think we might have had $50 as a budget, and we were just like, let's just go make this film. Let's just use what we have and whatever resources. But yeah, I'm definitely glad I was able to screen this year at the Astoria Film Festival. So thank you.
Thank you. It was gorgeous. I thought I didn't know where you were. I wouldn't have thought Lake Michigan, but that's impressive. It was a beautiful shot.
Thank you. Yeah, it was. I cracked a joke while on set. I was like, I come to this water every morning sometimes, and I said, this could be South Africa if we say it is. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I used to work at the Boys and Girls Club before I started the festival, after I did the TV production, whatever. And I remember a lot of times we would rent out the space to the local Boys and Girls Club here in Astoria, Queens is from 1958, and they've been claiming they're going to tear it down and build a new one for 20 years, and they never do. It's very run down. So like the staff, like I was director of education, but I had to know how to reset the boiler because it would die so often. So anyway, we used to rent it out as a prison for prison shows and prison movies often. So yeah, it was like, oh, where'd you shoot your prison scene? At the Boys and Girls Club. Sad, but funny. Funny, but sad.
I went to the boys
find a way to
club.
make it happen.
Yes.
I went to the boys club when I was a kid to swim and things.
Yeah, it's kids. People ask me, "Did you go to the when you were a child?" I was like, "No," because it was boys only. It didn't become boys and girls till after I was older, sadly. So I will stop recording.